They say that they're extreme for one reason alone, because they want free and fair elections. I don't think that's very extreme. In reality, the Democrats are the extremists. You know, Katie Hobbs and Mark Kelly and all of the radical left, they support giving puberty blockers to young boys and testosterone treatment to young girls. That's extreme. Katie Hobbs and Mark Kelly, they want to keep our borders open, allowing crime, human trafficking, and fentanyl to flood into our country. That's extreme. So every time you see an attack ad against these wonderful people, know that they're vicious lies and the Democrats are the extremists. And on Tuesday, you, the people, are going to make your voices heard and reject the Democrats' extremism. God bless Arizona.
Yes, that is exactly right. We are exactly right. And next up, we are going to have somebody who has been working very, very hard to drain the swamp. As DC Drano, Rogan Hanley, come on.
What's up, State 48? I heard you guys are a Second Amendment state. Is that true? About to be even more so with these great people up here. Listen, I got up at 5:30 a.m. to come fly out and support these candidates. I left the free state of Florida to come out here and support what I think is the best ticket in the entire country with these four. All right. So, but I got one question for you. We've seen the polls. We got some strong polls, but it's not about how you look. It's about how you finish. Okay. We got to execute on Tuesday, but I have a question for you guys. When they win, are we going to call it MAGA-zona? Or are we going to call it Kari-zona? I like Kari-zona. All right. And I got some life advice for the young ones out there. If you're new to politics, so I have this rule: whatever Hillary Clinton says or does, do the opposite. But I'm expanding that rule now. Whatever Liz Cheney says or does, do the opposite. And donate twice as much to Kari Lake. So I want to thank you all for being here. Like I said, we in Florida, we're fighting like crazy to make America Florida. But I have a feeling people are going to start saying, make America Arizona. And that's on you. So get it done on Tuesday.
Thank you, DC Drano. Thanks for draining that swamp. All right, next up, we have somebody who is running for the legislature from this district right here, Roxana Holtefeld. Roxana. All you got to know is Roxana.
Okay, I know it's a mouthful. Hey, who is ready for November 8th? All right. I actually represent Tempe, Scottsdale, which is ASU, some Phoenix, some Mesa, a little bit of everything here. And I'm running for the state legislature, the Senate seat. The current lawmaker that's there, if you want to call him that, has been AOL. He missed like 94% of the last session and missed 94% of votes placed. Yet he got 100% of your taxpayer money and per diem to not show up. Not only that, he still may not show up if he gets reelected. Well, I'm making him work for it. I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm a no-nonsense conservative. I'm Cuban and Puerto Rican. I'm a Cuban Rican. I'm a woman. I'm a former law police officer from Tampa, Florida, is where I was police officer. Thank you. So the big thing we have to do is take back this country. It's ridiculous. It's common sense, the things we want. Close border, get the drugs off the street, and we need more cops. It's just math. More cops equals less crime, right? And we need to get this nonsense out of our schools. Boys need to be boys, girls need to be girls, and no sports, competing boys with girls sports, and none of that nonsense. I climbed trees. I was such a tomboy as a little kid that, thank goodness I was a little kid. Now where they'd want to lop off some body parts of mine. Okay, so we can't let this happen, guys. You got to go out and vote. You got to vote the down ballot. You got to tell everybody who's in District 8, all the districts. We all are combined. You got to tell everybody, vote, vote, vote. Thank you so much.
Roxana is a Cuban Rican zonin. I think so. And you better vote Roxana and you better vote red no matter what. And somebody who knows how important it is to have Republicans in positions to be able to represent us across the board is our very own Congressman, Andy Biggs.
Thank you. Thank you. What a great day in Arizona. God must love this state because he has given us this incredible weather. We've got Montana Senator Steve Daines with us. Steve, you know what we call this in Arizona? Winter. We're so glad to have Steve Daines with us, but I tell you what, we have got a job to do. We've got meat on the bone. Tuesday's election day. If you haven't voted yet and you're going to vote Tuesday, I'm begging you, be prepared. Take a sandwich and some water because there's going to be long lines. And don't leave that line. Get in there and vote red, top to bottom. Top to bottom. Let's make this a clean sweep. Make it a clean sweep. The left, the Democrats have got the most radically crazy candidates I've ever seen. They would feel at home where? LA, San Francisco, New York, Seattle, Portland. But we have a great slate of Republican candidates, top to bottom. Kari Lake for our governor. She's going to be our new governor. I need help in Washington, D.C. Steve needs help over there. Blake Masters is going to be the next senator from this state. Blake's going to do it. And we need the state legislators, Roxana, everybody. We got to take it back, right on down to the school boards. This is the best state in the country and the best country in the history of the world. And doggone it, we need to restore this country and restore this state. Get it out of the hands of crazy, scared, very, very, very nervous Katie Hobbs. Very nervous person. But I'll tell you what, it's my pleasure to introduce somebody that is going to come to Congress with me. He's going to be helping me as we fight to hold the bad guys accountable, as we restore budget sanity, and we restore American freedoms where we can worship God without the FBI tracking you and watching you. I welcome him coming to DC on the 9th with me. We're going to be flying back. He's your next congressman from CD4, Kelly Cooper. Kelly.
Ladies and gentlemen, are we excited? Are we ready to go out and vote? Yeah. So my name is Kelly Cooper. Most of you know, Marine Corps veteran, small business owner. I am running against Greg Stanton. Now, yeah, we'll wait for that one. Boo, right? So Greg has voted 100%, and this is not an exaggeration, 100% with Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden. You know what's even worse? He's out there telling you how hard he's going to work for your water and your water preservation. Some of those votes that were for Nancy, he literally had California congressmen pass them. So while Nancy allows them to vote from home, he hands off his proxy vote to California congressmen. How's he fighting for our water rights, giving his vote to California? It's absolutely a traitor. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a bright future ahead of us. You have an awesome slate of candidates behind us. I appreciate the support. I want to take one real quick second before I pass the mic back to Dr. Kelly Ward. My wife is right here in the front row. Erin Cooper, please raise your hand. We don't make this happen without Erin. She is the rock with which I work from, and she makes all of this happen. So thank you, Erin. I love you. All of you out there, we're doing this for you because you deserve better representation. So God bless you. God bless Arizona. Semper Fi. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, that's Kelly. I'm Kelly. These are the only two Kellys you should vote for here in this great state. We're the good Kellys. There's a bad Kelly. We'll talk about him maybe later. But I want to talk about the slate of candidates here in Arizona. The Fantastic Four. The Fab Four. And they are amazing people who are going to put this country and this state back on track. I'm going to start out with our next Secretary of State, Mr. Mark Fincham. Just follow the law.
All right. I see one of you has one of these stylish hats. All right, the rest of them I got to sell because we got to pay for this campaign. Have you noticed how much money the freak out fraud Democrats are spending in the state? Yeah. And by the way, we're going to have to check up on Lynch Ginny. I don't think she understands the in-kind contribution limits. She spent $500,000 against me and Kari. Well, it resulted in doubling our contributions. So I think that's an in-kind contribution that might have to be reported, but we'll work it out after this. Ladies and gentlemen, there is one thing that matters to me right now, and that is making sure that we hold everyone accountable to just follow the law. When it comes to election security and election integrity, have you noticed all the resources marshaled against a guy who simply was asking questions and to this day still does not have answers? That's got to be kind of weird that you elect us to ask questions, get answers, and come back to you, yet those of us who do that are somehow vilified. We're the bad guys. Well, if you didn't notice, this past Wednesday, Senator Sonny Borelli, one of my, he's a rock star. If you don't know Sonny, you've got, well, I'm not sure we want to introduce him. It might rock your world. Sonny released something that a group of people have been working on now for months. And that is an analysis of the mismatch of signatures on ballots compared to registrations. And right now they've gone through 100,000 ballot envelopes with a 21% mismatch rate. I'm sure all you can do the math. That's 21,000 ballots that probably were fictitious or should not have been counted. And they're only 100,000 through. That is why you have got to have a Secretary of State who is going to hold people accountable to just follow the law. I'm your guy. Thank you very much. I'll see you later for the hats.
And Mark, I saw someone right over here that wants one. He's got a Kari hat on. I'm sorry he only has one head to be able to wear the hats at a time, but he wants one for sure. Now, when we are the great state of Arizona, Governor Lake is going to need to have allies and people that will support her efforts to secure our border by declaring an invasion and taking on the leftist media and the left in general. And one of the most important spots where that happens is on the legal front. And we need to have a strong, fierce, fearless fighter as the Attorney General. And that next Attorney General is Abraham Hamadeh. Abe, come on in.
Arizona, are you fired up or what? We have 3 days to save our republic, don't we? And right now, the left is running scared. And you see the propagandists, the media back there. They keep calling us the most dangerous candidates running in America. What they really mean is that we are a danger to them and to their power. And November 8th, when we all go out and vote and grab 10 of our friends, November 8th is their day of reckoning. Because for the past 2 years, they've gaslighted us. They shut down churches, schools, and small businesses. They opened up our border to fentanyl and to 250,000 illegal immigrants crossing every single month. And right now, what you're witnessing is, remember, they want to defund the police. Right now, we need to be backing our blue. But what now we have to understand what's at stake on November 8th. Everything is at stake. If Arizona goes blue, we are never going back. So this is why it's so critical. You have to elect up and down the ballot Republican. It's that simple. Get out the message. Get out the vote. How many of you heard of my opponent? I never want to even talk about her because nobody even knows who she is. But her top 3 issues, I don't know if you can believe it. Her top 3 issues, She says she wants to fight climate change, abortion rights, and saving democracy. She wants to fight the weather. I want to fight the criminals. I want to fight the drug cartels. We need to get out the vote November 8th. Grab 10 of your friends. Make sure you stand in line, get some water. I'm telling you, we got the machine going up against us. But with all of you, it's not just us. We have an army behind us. Let's go and win big. Thank you.
Thank you, Abe. Wow. I mean, this team, have you ever seen a group of people running together with solutions that they will work on as a group for we the people of Arizona? There is nothing like it here in our state or anywhere in the nation. These fabulous four, the Fantastic Four, they will save this country. Now, I do want to introduce a couple of people from other states who are here. Exactly. We've got a couple of senators who need reinforcement here in the United States Senate. They need help to be able to drain the swamp. And they know that our next senator has got to be Blake Masters. You know it too, right? So first, I'm going to have Senator Steve Daines, the first Republican senator in Montana history in the last 100 years, to come up and talk to us about why we need Blake.
I'll tell you what, I'm proud of you, Arizona. I left snow last night in Montana. If this is winter here, Congressman Biggs, I can't imagine, but it must be like you're in December and January. But I tell you, I'm here today because the nation at this moment in our history is counting on Arizona to elect Blake Masters to the United States Senate. Now, I've had a chance to spend some time on the bus with your amazing slate of candidates. Holy cow. Including me, Roxanna. I did not know she was a member of law enforcement. And I tell you what, this insanity of defunding law enforcement, it's nuts. I got a better idea, and I know we have a better idea. Let's defund the Democrats. And I'm thrilled to be joined here with my great colleague, Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas. And when Tom and I walked down to the floor of the United States Senate for a vote, for a debate, the U.S. Senate at this moment in our history is a 50-50 U.S. Senate. Now, you remember your days in perhaps high school and taking government class. What happens when there is a tie in the U.S. Senate? Who breaks the tie? The Vice President of the United States breaks the tie in the United States Senate. Kamala Harris has broken more ties in her short tenure, less than 2 years, than all but two vice presidents in our nation's history. So we've had 49 vice presidents since this country was founded. She now has broken the third most ties, trailing only John Adams and John Calhoun, who served 8-year terms as vice president. That shows you how important one Senate vote is. We're one Senate vote away from losing the Supreme Court to packing the court, where they would put 4 justices on it and make it a 13-member court. We're one Senate seat away from D.C. becoming a state and 2 Democrat senators forever, and the next be Puerto Rico. They don't want to just take over our country. They want to take over all the institutions. That is the agenda of the left. I got a better idea on how to break a tie in the U.S. Senate. How about you send Blake Masters back to Washington? That would do it. Now, let me close by doing a little poll. There have been a lot of polls conducted here. And by the way, don't believe most of them. This is going to be a big, big night. Senator Cotton and I have been traveling around the country with many, many different candidates. You can see it. You can sense it. This is going to be a big wave next Tuesday. Let's just test this. And we've got some decibel meters here. So we're going to see how loud you can clap and shout. This is a decibel meter poll. And so here's the question. If the election for the United States Senate in Arizona were held today, how many of you would vote for Blake Masters? You've got Chuck Schumer shaking his boots right now. You do. And I tell you, Blake
what I love about Blake, many things, but we need more private sector business people in Washington. That's what I did before I came to the Senate. That's what Blake Master has done. God bless Arizona. You have such a great slate of candidates, but polls don't matter. There's one thing that matters. It's getting to the polls on Tuesday. Let's get it done, Arizona. Thank you.
All right. And if you didn't notice, we were joined by another one of our amazing Republican senators, somebody that just like our candidates here in Arizona, he has a spine and a soul. So welcome to the stage, the senator from the great state of Arkansas, Tom Cotton.
Thank you. Thank you, Arizona. It's great to be back. It's great to be back. I wasn't supposed to be here this early, but we landed a little early. I was so excited to get here because I heard you're having so much fun. And, you know, I got to say, I came here with my son, Gabriel, my 7-year-old. It's his first trip to Arizona. I know he already wants to come back given the weather here. I've got a 5-year-old home as well, Daniel. I got to tell you, Daniel sometimes doesn't like it when I have to leave. So I got a little separation anxiety. So recently he grabbed me around the leg when I was going back to Washington for work. And he said, "Daddy, please don't go." And I said, "Son, I got to go. I got to go to work." He said, "No, Daddy, someone else can beat the Democrats." And I thought, they might be able to beat the Democrats, but why would I let them have all the fun? And it's going to be a fun time Tuesday night when we beat all the Democrats in the great state of Arizona. And you've got a great slate of candidates here, and I'm very pleased to be back in Arizona campaigning on behalf of all of your Republican candidates. But most especially, like Steve Daines, I need reinforcements in the United States Senate. We've got to elect Blake Masters on Tuesday night. I'll tell you, I literally just landed at the airport, and I was pulling up. I noticed there was a big plane that was white and baby blue, and it said United States of America on it. But it wasn't Air Force One, because they sent the First Lady to campaign in Arizona, knowing that they could not possibly send Joe Biden to Arizona. I mean, you can't even send Joe Biden to California without him saying he's going to ban coal in this country. I don't know what he thinks they're going to power all their electric vehicles with out in California if we ban coal. But if he had come to Arizona, you know what he would have said here? He would have said, "Please send back my wingman and rubber stamp Mark Kelly to the United States Senate." He would have said, "I need Mark Kelly to keep spending trillions of dollars we don't have that's creating all this inflation to continue to spend like drunken sailors," although that's an insult to drunken sailors. If you send Blake Masters to Washington, D.C., we'll stop the madness and we'll get inflation under control. If Joe Biden had come to Arizona, he said, "Please send Mark Kelly so we can continue to stand arm in arm with me as I leave our southern border wide open with 5 million illegal aliens crossing in our country in less than 2 years, flooding our streets with hardened, dangerous criminals and deadly drugs like fentanyl." If you elect Blake Masters to the Senate, we'll close our border and we'll crack down on the Mexican drug cartels that are killing so many of our fellow citizens. And Joe Biden, if he came here, he'd say, "Please send back Blake, or please send back Mark Kelly, because we need him to protect unelected bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. People like Tony Fauci, who think they know better than you, who want to keep your schools closed and your kids in masks. Elect Blake Masters, and we'll defend your freedom in Washington, D.C." And that's what it really all comes down to. You've got a chance to make a difference for this entire country, not just your state. So let's elect Blake Masters to the United States Senate on Tuesday night. Let's elect every one of these great candidates. Let's bring back freedom to the state of Arizona. Let's do it for this entire country. Thank you all. God bless you.
Thank you, Senator. Well, without further ado, I don't like to say if we elect Blake Masters. I like to say when we elect Blake Masters on Tuesday. The political establishment is going to be shuddering, because he is a guy that believes in faith, family, and freedom. He is a man of principles. He is extremely intelligent. He is young, vibrant, and ready to bring great ideas to the United States Senate from the great state of Arizona, Blake Masters.
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Senator Daines. Thank you, Senator Cotton. Who's ready to send Mark Kelly back to space in 3 days? We're going to do it. I promise you. Mark Kelly deserves to lose his job for many reasons, right? Chief among them, he lied to us. This guy lies through his teeth. 2 years ago, Mark Kelly promised he would be an independent. Has he been an independent in DC? No, he's completely owned by Chuck Schumer. And you know what? Mark Kelly votes like Bernie Sanders in the U.S. Senate. Here's the difference between them. Bernie Sanders will look you in the eye and tell you what he is. He's wrong about everything, but he'll look you in the eye and say, oh, he's a left-wing socialist. Mark Kelly votes like Bernie Sanders, but then has the audacity to look you in the eye and lie to you. He's up on your television screen saying, I stand up to Joe Biden. Really, Mark? When? Would be nice if he did, but you know what? He didn't. And the Democrats in charge, right? They've created these twin crises that we're suffering the worst from in the nation here in Arizona, the border crisis and this crazy economic inflation crisis. And you know what? They did this on purpose. Now, I don't think the Democrats in charge, Mark Kelly, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, my gosh, they're not competent, right? They don't know what's going on. Not really. But what we're seeing is so much worse than incompetence. It's not like they're trying hard, but failing to secure our southern border. They're not even trying. Day one, Biden halted construction of the border wall. They rescinded all of the Trump-era policies that were working. 2 years ago, you had a secure border. And then they just surrendered. They surrendered our sovereignty to the Mexican drug cartels. Joe Biden and Mark Kelly, they laid out the welcome mat. And I think they're clever. They're not competent, but they're clever enough to know that in the greatest country in the history of the world, when you just throw open the borders and tell illegal aliens, hey, come on in, not only will we not deport you, but here's some cash. Here's a bus ticket, right? Let's bus you up to Phoenix Sky Harbor, where they run midnight flights for the better part of 20 months, flying these illegal aliens anywhere they want to go in the country, except Martha's Vineyard. No, don't go to Martha's Vineyard, right? The media, they called Ron DeSantis a human trafficker for sending 50 illegal aliens to Martha's Vineyard. Well, Yuma, Arizona doesn't get 51 time. I mean, the Martha's Vineyard people, right? They freaked out. They called the National Guard. They got one taste of their sanctuary cities policies and said, no, we don't like this. Well, Yuma gets 50 every hour. 300,000 illegal aliens welcomed by Joe Biden and Mark Kelly cross our southern border every month. Not every year, every month. Biden and Mark Kelly, they're basically business partners at this point with the Mexican drug cartel. They've helped the cartel traffic more than 4.5 million human beings into our country in the last 20 months. The fentanyl that's coming in, it's killing our kids. This dereliction of duty at the southern border alone, I think, is grounds for impeachment for Biden and Mayorkas. It's reason to send Mark Kelly back to space, back to Texas, wherever he's from. I wish that was the only crisis the Dems have caused, of course, but they also destroyed our economy. And here again, I don't want to suggest that Biden or Mark Kelly, no, they're not competent enough to ever successfully steward a healthy economy. But what we're seeing with these policies, it's intentional. It's so much worse than mere incompetence. What do these geniuses think was going to happen? When day one, they canceled the Keystone Pipeline. They declared war on oil and gas in a country that's still mostly powered by oil and gas. Gosh, you think that might make the price of energy go up? Yes, these idiots are actually, I think they did it on purpose. They took gas from $2 to $6. Now they want a prize because it's back down closer to $5 in Maricopa County because Biden is selling out oil from our strategic reserve, right? Desperately trying to win the midterms by compromising our national security. Well, when they made energy expensive by surrendering our energy independence, they made inflation, right? They made everything expensive because everything you need to live takes energy to make or to move. That was the left hook. What was the right hook? The money printing. These geniuses, what did they think was going to happen? Mark Kelly's official explanation for inflation, by the way, is, you see, all the greedy corporations get together. The businessmen, they decide to raise their prices at the same time. It's capitalism's fault. Either he's so dull that he actually believes that, in which case, yikes, get that guy out of the Senate. Or I actually think he's a little bit more clever than that. He knows he's pushing a lie. My 8-year-old understands this perfectly well. When the government prints $1 trillion, it devalues every dollar in your wallet. It sends prices at the pump, at the supermarket, rent prices to the moon. They caused this inflation. They did it on purpose. Then we get the Inflation Reduction Act. Isn't that nice? 87,000 IRS agents. Mark Kelly had a chance. I think, was that your amendment? Tom Cotton proposed an amendment that would have forced the Democrats to double the size of the Border Patrol. That's a great idea. Mark Kelly, he said, hey, should we double the size of the Border Patrol? 18,000 more agents. He said no to 18,000 more Border Patrol agents so that he could say yes to 87,000 more IRS agents. Senator Cotton also ran an amendment. Take a moment to be astonished. No stimulus checks for prisoners, for the Boston bombers, right? Common sense. Mark Kelly said, no, those people need stimulus checks. Mark Kelly rejected that amendment and voted to send your tax dollars to violent felons and illegal aliens. This is Mark Kelly's policy prerogatives. That's what he wants. And look, I'm sorry, I feel myself being depressing up here, right? But the Dems have done a lot of damage in the last 20 months. Our backs are against the wall. If we don't play our cards right, we're 3 days away from losing this country forever. But you know what? We're also 3 days away from winning it back. What do you think? And we've got the momentum in my race ever since my debate with Mark Kelly, right? He did a little bit better than John Fetterman, but only a little bit. We've had the momentum ever since the Libertarian candidate in my race, Mark Victor, he's dropped out and endorsed me, which is fantastic. We've caught Senator Kelly in the polls. We're going to win this race. And so my closing message to the people of Arizona is, hey, take a look around you. If you love the illegal immigration, the wide open southern border, the fentanyl that's coming in and killing our kids, if you love the fact that homicide in Phoenix is up 50% since 2019, in my hometown of Tucson, homicide, murder is up 87% since 2019. If you like that, if you like paying too much for absolutely everything, not being able to afford gas and groceries, hey, there's a U.S. Senate candidate for you. His name's Mark Kelly. He caused all these problems. He will make them worse if we give him more time to rubber stamp Biden's agenda. But man, if you think you and your family deserve better, send me in there. We'll retire Mark Kelly. I promise I will make you proud. Red wave incoming. Thank you and God bless you.
All right. Hey, you know what? It's hot up here, I'll just tell you. But I remember a guy who came to Yuma and stood on a stage on an airport tarmac for hours and hours and hours and really didn't complain, at least not out loud to any of us. And that was Donald J. Trump. And I'll tell you that President Trump's America First policies did put this country where it was supposed to be. And this Fantastic Four is going to bring those policies not only to the state of Arizona, but to the United States of America. And the person, the lady that is leading that charge, I'm so proud to call her a friend. She has got not only a spine and a soul, she also has a heart and a brain, and she is ready to put them to work, sacrifice to serve us. Arizona, it is time for Governor Kari Lake.
Hello, Arizona. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how good that makes me feel. I know we've all been working hard. 522 days. I swear I'm not counting on the campaign trail. 522 days across this gorgeous state, meeting with the most amazing people that I could ever dream of working for. And I'll tell you one thing, there is something going on in Arizona, and it's something good. Are you feeling it? Are you feeling what's happening here? There's a reason these guys are covering us. There's a reason the international media has shown up. Because what we do here is going to save Arizona and save this country, and the whole world is watching us right now. The whole world is watching. I'll tell you why I got into this. You know, many of you watched me on TV for many years, almost 3 decades, and I appreciate that. Thank you for inviting me into your homes. But I walked away from it because I realized during COVID that there is a bunch of propaganda being pushed by the government, a bunch of lies, and not many strong people in the media to stand up and walk away, but I did. And you guys recruited me to run for office. Now, I don't know if I should love you or hate you for that. You recruited me to get into the corrupt world of politics because we need to root the corruption out, right? And just like many of you, I'm a mama bear. How many mama bears in this crowd? We realize that what's at stake is our children and their future. I see a precious baby girl over here, a little one down here. We're worried about their future, and we realize we got to get in the game. And I know probably half of you, if I asked you this, would you have found yourself out in a political event 4 years ago doing this? How many of you would have? But how many of you are doing it now because you're so worried about your children's future? That's right. That's why we're in the game. That's what scares them. That's why they're calling us dangerous, because they know there is a red wave coming and there's nothing they can do about it. Not a darn thing. Fake news can't do a darn thing about it. I'm telling you, what is when you know you're over the target, when you have Liz Cheney come after you, and then that same week you've got Barack Obama coming after you. I'm living rent free in that guy's brain. It's great. And none of that scares me. I'm truly fearless, but I will say I got a little tinge of fear when Hillary Clinton started bad mouthing me. I mean, that's the kind, you start sleeping with one eye open when Hillary Clinton starts talking. And I want, for the record, I want you all to know I'm in perfect health. My brakes on my car work, and I'm not suicidal. So just remember that if anything happens. All kidding aside, although I'm not really kidding, I want to tell you what I want to do for Arizona. And I think after 522 days, you know, we are going to secure that border starting on day 1 in January 23. We're going to take back the material down on the border that we paid for, and we're going to finish President Trump's wall. Who's for that? We are going to start teaching our kids common sense and not grooming them in schools anymore. My opponent voted against border security every chance she got. She voted for tax increases 13 times. But you know what else she did? She co-sponsored legislation to start teaching sex education in kindergarten for our 5-year-olds. It's disgusting, and that will never happen on my watch. We will never sign any legislation like that. As a matter of fact, we're gonna sign legislation to get these groomers out of the classroom. We're going to make sure that we're teaching our kids something that they need, life skills and job skills in high school. Get out of high school ready to take the jobs that are out there. And we're going to fully fund our police and make sure they're fully staffed so when we call 911, someone can show up. Look, I know you guys are hot. I know you've been out here. I see some dads holding kids, and I know how sore your arm probably is right now. Everything is on the line Tuesday. I cannot say that enough. What happens in Arizona is either going to save this country or we're going to go into ruins. We have to get out and vote like our lives depend on it. Get up early, bring some food, bring some water, bring a like-minded friend, and don't get out of line until you cast your vote. Who's ready to do that? We got to vote for Blake Masters for U.S. Senate. We got to vote for a former cop, not his opponent who was a cartel lawyer rather. He's running against a cartel lawyer. We got to get Mark Fincham in there. So important. We need Kelly Cooper, a businessman who actually knows something. We got to have Roxana, and I need Abe really bad. We're going to be Batman and Robin. I'm not kidding. I got to have him if we want a secure border. You've got to go in there. You've got to mark Republican, write down that ticket, and then go out and wait for the election results to come in. And it might take 10 days because we're still Arizona. But I vow to you when I take office, we will reform our elections and restore honest, transparent elections in Arizona. Get out and vote, everybody. I love you, Arizona. Let's do it. Woo!